So we got Jeffy in the house. Where are you? There you are. What's up, guys? And sorry, what's your first name?
Frank Scout.
Frank Scott. Okay.
Scout.
Scout.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Talk. You got to talk into the mic.
Okay.
To the side of the mic.
Where the blue light is.
To the blue light.
It's on this side.
There you go.
There you go. How's that?
Yeah, we can hear you. You can hear you.
All right,
Now we
perfect.
can hear you guys. So what do you guys got going on? I mean, you guys actually do a great job out there when it comes to kids, protecting the kids out there.
Right.
Tell everybody exactly what Baca does, so that people that don't know.
Well, basically what we do is we adopt the kids into the family. We have something that's called a level 1. Basically, our whole chapter, it's mandatory ride for everyone in our chapter.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we'll get guys from Connecticut, Rhode Island come down. So, we have sometimes 30, 40 bikes showing up.
Right.
And it's basically an adoption ceremony that, we take in the kid that's been abused, obviously. They get their own cut. They get a road name.
Really?
They get 2 primaries, which are 2 fully patched members that
Wow.
that child has access to 24/7.
Holy.
No matter what they need.
That's awesome.
If the kids testify, have to go to court, we'll take them to court through the whole procedure. We've done that. We've been in court. I don't even know how many times the last year or so.
Wow.
Something else we do because
Too many, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, we're a busy chapter. Unfortunately.
Now, do you have something that sticks out in your mind, a story or a child that sticks out in your mind?
Yeah. What I was going to say is we also do something what's called a level 2.
Okay.
If there's an imminent threat made to the family,
Okay.
we'll go sit in front of that house 24/7.
Really?
We had a case a few years ago where, unfortunately, without getting into a lot of the details, 2 children would get mother had custody shortly after she passed away. The father was the perpetrator.
Really?
And there was a call made that he was going to kill everyone in the house.
Wow.
So we basically set up, we were out there 24/7. And there was a young girl involved. At like 7, 8 o'clock, she started coming to the door every hour. And you could see the smile and relief on her face,
Right.
every time she came out.
Knowing you
and
guys
saw
were
us
there.
And not only just guys, you got
Yeah.
bikers out there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
at
I
like
mean-
10 o'clock it stopped. And the next morning we got a call from the grandmother saying it was the first night she slept,
Really?
ever since
Wow.
that threat was
Now, are
made.
you guys like retired law enforcement?
No.
You guys
No.
carry
We're-
just bats? What do you
No,
got?
basically when we set up the level 2, there's 2 to 3 of us there. 2 of us watch the house, and another one, if in a lot of situations these guys are in trouble to begin with. So if they show up there, that's
Yeah.
that's the end.
I'm
you
just
know?
thinking confrontation wise. You
Yeah,
got to be obviously this day and
unfortunately-
age. You got to be careful.
Yeah, fortunately
You
it
know.
hasn't happened. We were
Good.
involved in another one where a
Knock on
family
wood.
was in a hotel.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
It's one of my kids.
Basically, one of his kids that. We had 2 people set up outside the hotel. 3 people were in the room with the kids, and we're there just to keep them occupied.
Absolutely. Keep their minds,
yeah.
safe,
Yep.
They came out. All we heard was laughing.
Yeah.
He came out with
I still have
nail
the
polish
purple
on his
nail
eyes.
polish all over my
The
car.
kids made him up. So.
As a matter of fact, the one of the kids that Uprisers was just talking about called me at one day last week about 11 o'clock at night. My phone rang. I was half asleep, and I hear this little tiny voice. I think she's like 5 years old. I heard, hello? I didn't recognize the number, and it said, Scout, I miss you. And then Mom was mortified because it was late at night. She's like, I am so sorry. She's like, she was afraid and scared, and she just wanted to talk to Scout to make her feel at ease.
Wow, that's awesome,
It
though.
works.
Yeah.
Obviously,
And
what you're doing.
that's a really important thing
Yeah.
to make the kids feel safe, and
Well,
the
you know
people
what it is?
feel safe.
We don't have to tell anyone here. The camaraderie that bikers have, that brotherhood and sisterhood, is so evident.
Yeah.
The minute we show up, and now these kids, they're one of us.
Yeah.
So they know they're protected. They know that we're a phone call away, whatever they need. And it is, the payoff is just seeing, kids that were a shell now becoming nurses, now becoming doctors, now becoming members of Baca.
Right.
Some of
Yeah.
them,
That's
that were
awesome.
Children, eventually.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Well, whatever you guys do, obviously it shows. It's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
working.
That is
Hey,
great.
Johnny.
Yes, sir.
I just want to let these guys know, Scout, I used to work with CCAN over there in Grumman with kids that were sexually and physically abused. And I did that for 4 years in the with the group, with the family group and the children. I used to take them fishing and hiking and all of that. And I used to take the kids to court as well, like you guys do. So
Well, that's awesome.
I can,
Yeah.
I definitely respect you guys and what you do. It's a tough job.
Thank you. Well, if you ride, you want to come down and check out a meeting, we're always looking
Absolutely.
for people.
So we're
Yeah.
going to keep you guys right there a second. We're going to do a quick commercial. I'm Johnny Rizzo. You're watching or listening to Motorcycle Man Radio. We'll be right back. There we go. We are back on Motorcycle Man Radio. We got Baca in the house. So I'm sorry I had to interrupt you before. So continue what you were saying about what you guys.
Well, what were we saying?
Well, you guys stay out. You stay outside
Squirrel.
of the kids' houses, which is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Make them feel safe, which is very important.
Yeah, it's also, again, with the court, that's a big thing. Kids that are involved with us,
Right.
statistically higher to testify
Right.
in court. Again, the payoffs for us are when we see, there was a family of 5 that were abused, each child.
Right.
Going to that court date, we were with that family in court probably a dozen times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just seeing how shaken up they are after each time.
Did you ever have to threaten somebody or go after somebody?
No.
You know what? We don't need to because, in the case of when we go to court, there's always an opportunity for the perpetrator and his or her attorney
Right.
to interact. There's that
Yeah.
uncomfortable waiting period when
Yep.
you go in there.
Yep.
There's always that opportunity where the perpetrator is going to try and intimidate the victim. Not while we're there.
No, I can see that not happening.
I was gonna say that's a simple solution.
Yeah. I mean, did you guys show up dozens or?
Yeah.
I went to one in New Jersey. It was a court case, I guess. Young girl's mother's boyfriend killed her
Wow.
in front of her. She was going to give her a victim impact statement. So there were probably at least 50 or 60 of us from all over the place.
Wow.
Chapters from South Jersey, people from Albany, and this was a hardcore guy, and he didn't really have much to say when we showed up.
I can imagine.
And we're the cute ones. We have some.
Yeah. There's a movie. What movie is that? That's out there. Was it the Bad Grandpa at the end?
Yeah.
Right. With there's another club, right? That protects kids.
Yes.
And then there's Baca?
I don't know if they're active on Long Island anymore.
Okay. He knocked over all their bikes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's the Bad Grandpa. You ever see
Didn't
that?
Pee Wee Herman
good
do that also?
Oh my God. But it's great what you guys do, man. So yeah, you guys got an event that you want to promote that's coming up.
Yes.
So let's hear about
ahead.
the event. You got.
It's a poker run on August 2nd. Again, we're just looking for as many people to come out as possible.
Right.
Whatever funds we raise go directly to the kids.
That's awesome.
We're all volunteer.
Now, when you say directly to the kids, how is the money benefiting the kids?
If there's a family that can't afford therapy, we'll pay for therapy. For
Okay.
them. A lot of times these families don't have transportation.
Okay.
We'll pay for car rides.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If a kid wants to, join soccer and the family does, a lot of times these kids are in hiding.
Right.
They're in shelters or, living with people that, family members don't
Right.
know where they are.
Right, exactly.
So it all goes to that.
That's
We don't-
awesome.
You got a website or anything too? If people
Yeah,
can't do the ride, but
yeah,
they can
if-
donate.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
bacaworld.org. The beauty about Baca is we're a 501c3 not-for-profit organization, so we accept all kinds of donations.
Right.
So if you go to bacaworld.org, meander down to the Long Island chapter, or if you're not local or international, just make a donation, man.
How does somebody join Baca if they want to join Baca?
It's first you have to have a motorcycle, right?
Or access,
Okay.
Right.
or access to one.
Or access to one.
We have, couples where the husband might ride and,
Yep.
As a passenger, as long as you have access to a bike.
Yeah,
Right.
have a bike, have access to a bike. We meet the second Sunday of every month at the American Legion Post in Bohemia, 826 Hubel Street in Bohemia.
Okay.
9 o'clock in the morning. Show up to 3 meetings. After that, we send you to get fingerprinted, federal fingerprinting.
So you have to have a clean record, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. We're all been fingerprinted because you're dealing directly with
Right.
children.
As long as there's no abuse to a spouse or a child,
Right.
Listen, bikers have histories, so as long as again there's no spousal abuse or any type of abuse
Right.
to a child,
All
some
right.
things will get overlooked.
Yeah, after the third meeting, you get your fingerprints. They come back clean. You get your road name, and then it's at least a year's worth of training.
Now, how do you get a road? What would my road name be?
Don't say it on the air.
Fat bastard.
I'd say mayhem,
That's already
but that's
taken.
already taken.
Well,
we have a mayhem.
My nickname is actually Steaks. Johnny
Well,
Steaks.
then that
you
would
go.
probably
That's it.
a lot of times people come with nicknames.
Yeah.
A lot of times we just had a guy that we kind of gave him his road name. He's a supporter now, and he just looks like a Merlin. He looks like a wizard.
Nice.
Super nice guy, but he looks like something out of what's that, Joe? Harry Potter or something.
Oh my God,
That's great.
Good dude.
that's awesome. So have you ever had to throw somebody out of your club?
People have been removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
what,
can see
what,
that
what
too.
would
I
be a
mean,
reason to be removed out of Baca?
Just not showing up. I mean,
Okay.
there are,
So there's a certain amount of
yeah, there's mandatory
times that you have to show up to court
Yeah.
or to someone's
Well,
house.
not to court.
Not to court.
Our mandatory events are our monthly meetings.
Okay.
Level ones are a no miss. You have to show up. for
Everybody has to show up to
Yeah,
that.
listen, everybody's got lives.
Now, what's a level one? You were saying that's
The level one is where the whole chapter rides to that family's house.
Right.
And that's the day we take the child in.
to court.
Right.
Right.
No. As a member of
As a member.
BOP.
Yeah, so
they
let-
get their
it's like an
cut.
introduction.
Let's
Right.
back up a little bit. So, in order for a child to come into the Baca family, there's a referral process that typically for us comes through agencies that we work with, domestic violence agencies,
Okay.
child abuse agencies. Sometimes they come through the courts as well. But it has to be a documented case of abuse. The perpetrator can't live with the victim anymore,
Right.
And also the child has to be living in fear, right? So once the case is referred to us, we do an intake where probably 2 or 3 of us go, get some basic information about what's going on with the child,
Right.
and that's when we set up and establish the date for the level 1.
Has this child ever tried to deny you? That didn't want to go with you guys?
Now,
That-
if we get there in the family, again, we go explain what we do. If it's not a fit, we walk away. Wish
Okay.
the family the
Yeah.
best. We don't force ourselves on anyone.
Right.
If that guardian doesn't think we could help the child, and listen, there are cases where we've had kids where they just weren't into it. But
Right.
a majority of the times it's
But they see bikers, kids usually get into that.
yeah. I mean, we do a summer party last year. I think 90 kids showed up.
Wow.
And the great thing
That's
about
awesome.
that is that these kids get to interact with each other.
Right.
So they know they're not alone.
Yeah.
That other people are going through, what they go through.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
That's
turn that
actually
camera towards the door a little
important.
bit.
Oh, sure. I can do that.
Right. So
That's important though. That
Yeah,
knowing that
yeah.
you're not alone,
Yeah, and
especially
I
for a
mean,
young
there's
kid.
been
That's
situations where kids have exchanged phone numbers, and became friends.
Yeah.
Right, that's
just
good.
From, because these kids, again, by the time we get to them, they've told their story 100 times.
I'm sure.
So we're not there for that.
Right.
We don't care. A lot of times we don't know what the abuse is.
Right.
We're just there to
Support them.
Yeah. That's
Whatever
to
it is.
Empower them. That's
And the
it.
family.
Yep.
Right. So I'm sure like the parents really appreciate you guys being there. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that they call you, or is it something that you hear about it, like going through the court system.
In most situations, we're contacted. Again, we work with a lot of local and state agencies,
Mm-hmm.
CPS. We had a kid one time that saw videos on YouTube.
Wow.
He was being abused by his stepbrother, and he called us. 12
Wow.
years old. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Well, that's awesome what you guys do, man. And I really, you got this run coming up that looks like it's gonna be pretty cool. You looking for vendors and stuff like that too? Or-
I don't think so. No.
You guys are good with vendors?
We have set up. We're going to be at Nassau Harley is one of the stops.
Nassau How Holidays, the best
place
one
to
out
be.
there.
Yeah.
Suffolk County.
The Hog
The
Shop.
Hog Shop. Port Jeff Cycle Shop.
Okay, good stuff.
And CPM, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then we finish up at the Maples.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
that's
Maple
perfect.
Syrup
Great stuff.
Right. Yep.
Are you trying to say something, Louis?
I didn't say anything, bro.
Oh, I thought you were saying something. But no, so it's really cool. So check out this event. That's Saturday, August 2nd.
Yes.
Right, and it's starting out at the Holidays of Nassau County, and that's going to end up at the Maples. That's a great ride from Nassau
Yeah.
County to
Yeah, that's
Maples.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't been to the Maples in a long time.
Got a
man.
live
Yeah,
band
we
at
were
the
out
end.
there.
Yeah.
Live band,
We just
food.
did an awareness ride. We did out to Greenport,
Oh yeah,
jumped the ferry to Shelter Island.
that's sweet.
I'll take 111.
Over
Yeah,
Sand
that's
Harbor,
cool.
and
The
it's a good
Maples used to
ride.
have these olive poppers. They used to make.
I think they still have.
Do you have them still? Oh, we gotta go there.
Yeah, we were
All right,
just
we're
out
out here.
there last month. Yeah, yeah.
Always
Those-
about
those
food.
are
Yeah, always comes
about
right.
food.
Yeah. And we appreciate everything. Again, Chris, always keeps us in touch with anything he's got going
Yeah, that's
on.
awesome.
You.
Chris
He's
is
got a
always
lot
there.
of stuff going on.
Yeah.
He does.
We appreciate everything.
So that's fantastic, man. I'm glad we could be a part of it. We wish you luck
Thank you again.
with your run. I'm sure it's going to be a huge success.
Yeah, we just need good weather. That's
You know what I
what
mean?
we
Yeah,
need.
Yeah,
Pat?
man.
Yeah, no, just one quick question. How often do you guys run into the perpetrator other than court? Like,
No.
Not often.
I don't think the perpetrator wants to run into them. That's the thing.
no,
Yeah.
but I'm saying, is there ever that one who just thinks he could take you guys on, or just like no one's gonna keep me away from blah blah blah?
No, it's
Kind of hard.
It hasn't
I
happened.
mean, when you see us, I mean,
no, yeah, well,
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's we go by strictly our road names for a reason. And a lot of that is to protect ourselves and
Yeah,
our own families,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we don't want the perpetrators finding out who we are, where
Well,
we
of course
live, or
not.
any of that stuff.
Nope, you don't need that. So,
You know,
all
'cause I
right,
think
man.
that's the opportunity for the perpetrator to cause some
Yeah.
issues individually.
Well, that's awesome. I want to thank you guys for coming in, man. It's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to go to commercial real quick. We're going to come back with Louis Baca Donuts from Florida. Talk about our Florida bands out there. He's always having great weekends out there. Louis is doing fantastic. So stay right there, guys, and we'll be right back right after these messages.